Hi guys, welcome back to the Shooting Star podcast with Raven.
Sunshine.
Today we have a special guest. His name is Humphrey.
He is my son.
Yes. My daughter is currently laying on her Thea's lap.
I think, yeah, they've seen her before. Tuna.
Yeah, I think y'all seen Natalie before.
Natalie, aka Tuna.
Natalie Tuna Ann, that's her name.
But yeah, Humphrey's my son, and we just figured he would be
A
a
great.
cute special guest, you know?
Yes.
Y'all don't judge him, okay, because I know he's fluffy. But he's gonna be even fluffier when I stuff him.
Which she hasn't yet.
Don't body shame my son.
Okay, so we're gonna start off with our topic of the night, which is, do you want to start it? Because it was your topic.
Oh yeah,
What you
sure.
wanted to
It's
talk about?
9:32, guys. Basically, the topic that I wanted to discuss tonight has to do with what is that word?
Like parents or guides?
Parents who are not in their children's lives. And the reason why I want to talk about it is because I grew up with just my mother, and I did have a little bit of contact with my father when I was younger. He would tell me happy birthday every now and then, and I do remember, I'm not gonna lie, I remember him sending me packages for my birthday sometimes. And I remember the last thing that I got from him, I was probably like 15, and he sent me Justin Bieber perfume, which that smelled so good. But it wasn't all the time. I want to say maybe out of like all of my birthdays, he's probably only sent me like 3 packages. So don't think that he did it continuously every year and then stopped at 15. I'm just saying at 15, that was like the last time I remember. One time I was like 9, probably. And then the other time I was probably like 13. And I'm not making this a hate train video for my dad. So I just want to preface that by starting, by saying that it's not going to be like, oh, I'm doing all of this out of hatred, because I've had a lot of time to reflect on how I feel towards him, and I've had some time to process, you know, the things he didn't do and the things he did do. So it's not necessarily going to be a video just speaking pure negative things about him. Um because my mother was not perfect. I'm sorry I keep saying guys. I either say or like a lot, and it's just some of my vocabulary. I'm sorry. But my mother wasn't perfect. I understand that. But she did raise me for a majority of my childhood. And I just want to talk about like unpresent parents. That was the word. I just want to talk about unpresent parents because it affected me. I think, I know sometimes I say it didn't affect me, but um, it did, because when I was younger, of course, I loved my mom, I cherished her, and I was appreciative of everything that she did for me, even though I did have a childhood that was not the greatest because we were poor.
Lower
and
middle class.
and I'm not just saying that to say it, but literally we had a lot of bologna sandwiches. And I know you want to laugh, and it's fine, but I'm just telling the truth. We did. That's how much of a struggle our life was. We had ramen noodles and bologna sandwiches.
I
Now,
remember.
I'm not saying that that's a bad thing, because I appreciate everything that they did for us, because at the end of the day, we still had food, and we never like were children that had to starve, because our parents found ways to provide. But What are you
I'm
doing?
taking my comb back.
That's not for you to take. I've had it for more than 24 hours.
And
Y'all just witnessed a crime.
she committed it first.
But
She committed it first.
I can't with you. I know you have it in your phone.
I don't. I wrote it on paper.
Oh, it wasn't one like how you usually do. Well, anyways, our parents always provided no matter what. So I am thankful for that. But what I do want to say is that I sometimes feel like if my dad was in my life, it would have been a lot of help on my mother. And I'm not just talking about them being together because I understand people, they grow apart and they just can't be in a relationship. Like, I understand that. But at least he could have been present in my life. And yes, something did happen when I was younger. I want to say 2 or 3, where my mom put a restraining order on him because of like an altercation that happened between them. And so he wasn't allowed to see me for a while. And then they ended up doing like court ordered visitations or something like that. And it was just horrible because like someone else had to drop me off to see my dad. My mom couldn't because they couldn't be around each other. And yeah, after that, I don't remember really seeing him that much. I would talk to him every now and then on the phone, but that's really that's really all that it really was. It wasn't like, how am I trying to say it? He wasn't really there though. That's all he really did. Like, that was his role in my life growing up. So, um, I understand like everything that happened, but even if he was more present in my life with phone calls or text or like stuff like that, and as I grew older, they didn't have, she didn't have a restraining order against him, he could have put more effort into like seeing me because I was his only child, or so I thought.
She has a 12-year-old brother out there somewhere.
Yes, I do. I don't even know his name. That's sad, isn't it?
It is.
But he could have just did more.
Elias is.
Mhm. So yeah, he has 2 children, and he just really was never there. And I don't blame him 100% because I know that a lot of it had to do with him moving too, because he did move to Colorado, and I want to say I was like maybe 6 or 7 when he moved to Colorado, and he's been there ever since, and I'm 26 now. So like, he was in another state. So like, I do understand that he wasn't able to come see me frequently because it's not like he lived in the same town anymore. He was like a whole state away. But I don't know, I feel like when you're a parent, if you love your children and you care about them, you're going to make effort to see them no matter if you're across the country or not. And it just sucks because like, I grew up not knowing none of my family on my dad's side until I got older, and even then now it's like a weird relationship with them because it's still like I know them, but I don't because I didn't grow up with them, you know? And it's just so much, there's so much stuff, you know, that goes on with being an unpresent parent. So that's why I wanted to talk about it. And I wanted my question was like, why do parents do that? Why do they have a kid and then just forget about them and just act like they're not here? And I was like, it's crazy how somebody can go to sleep at night and not even think about like, oh, I have a kid out there somewhere, you know?
Yeah,
Um,
it's it's messed up to say, but it's kind of like you don't even exist to him.
practically. And it used to hurt me a lot because a lot of people that I knew had dads growing up, and I never got the daddy daughter dance or like the have donuts with your dad at school. I don't know if y'all remember, but in elementary school they had like um dad and daughter donut day or like father daughter dance and all of that stuff, and where I never got to experience those things, or like Father's Days,
mm,
you know?
true, true.
Like, I mean, some people, they're like,
Okay.
I'm good without a father, or fathers aren't that important, but fathers are,
Yeah.
just
And
like
guys,
mothers are.
if y'all hear anything in the background, it's my mom. She's watching TV. I don't know what she's watching, but she's watching something. And
And Natalie's twerking.
the TV's really loud. No, she's not.
She's
She's asleep.
snoring.
Um, but I do feel like for like any child, whether you're a son or a daughter,
She's yawning. She's still yawning.
and but like for like daughters, I feel like it's important, and they really do need their fathers because like I feel like without a father, like you end up looking for like that kind of love in relationships, and then you end up in like really horrible, traumatizing relationships because you didn't have your dad to teach you what a real man is. Like me, I never had a dad growing up. My mom and dad divorced when I was 4, and he like came back temporarily. He still lives like in the town that I live in, so like he could still make an effort to see me, but he's getting his energy sucked. So,
It's neither here nor there.
and I didn't mean that in a sexual way. Like if you are part of the spiritual community and you know what an energy vampire is, then that's what the girl he's currently with is doing to him, is like taking all his energy. Um, but yeah, so that's what I meant. And so he could still make an effort to see me and everything. Like I know I'm 22 and like I'm already a grown woman and everything, but still. And then I do like feel like not having a father in your life really does affect you because then you end up with like a bunch of emotion like men that aren't emotionally available, and then also like just like bad men, you know what I mean, that aren't like good to be in a relationship with. So that's why it's important for fathers to be a part of their daughters' lives, so that way they can like teach them and be like, okay, mija, like if a man doesn't do this for you, or if he's doing this to you, then that's not a good man to be with and everything. Like you set the example for your daughters on what a real man is and how a real man actually treats you and everything. And I never really had that like example besides my grandpa. Like he literally told my grandma one time because she wanted to get a job, he was like, if you get a job, I'm gonna leave you. He wanted to take care of her. He wanted to provide for her and their daughters and their son. Like my grandpa was an amazing guy, honestly. May he rest in peace and everything. But like that's really the only example I had of like how a man should treat you and everything. And my grandma and grandpa never got divorced. Like they stayed together since high school. Like even after she passed, he kept like counting their anniversaries, and he was like, "Okay, we've been together for 45 years or something, but like they were together for a really long time. Um, but yeah, that's all I wanted to say on that.
Also, I know that she was talking about like the daughter father thing, but I also feel like it's very important for boys to grow up with a father, because a lot of the times when they don't grow up with a father, they don't have a man to teach them how they're supposed to be. So then it's just like an endless cycle, and they grow up treating women how they think they're supposed to be treated, whether they see it from like TV or their friends or like,
Their moms,
you
like
know,
boyfriends and stuff.
and then they end up treating women horrible, but it's because they never had the father that they needed to show them how they're supposed to treat women,
Um,
and vice versa.
and also, I never had a stepdad growing up, so like it was literally just my mom that raised all of us. She had like relationships here and there, but those weren't good men. They were full of shit men.
Also,
Anyway,
I did have a stepdad growing up. He came into my life when I was 8 years old, and he is still currently here in my life. And I just want to say that I appreciate him.
cat ASMR. Okay.
Okay, I do want to say that I appreciate him, and I do not refer to him as my stepdad. I refer to him as a dad because he provided for me the whole time that he was with my mother, and he cared for me. So I am very appreciative of him and the role that he played in my life growing up. Um, so I don't want to take away from him by like talking about how I feel towards my bio dad, because he was a really good dad and he is a really good dad still. Um, but I just was like talking about my bio dad. I just want to make that clear. Also, um, I know a lot of people, this was a topic that was brought up before when I was talking to someone else about it. I know a lot of people would tell me, well, you can't put all that blame on your dad because what if like he grew up without a dad, so he doesn't know how to be a dad to you? And I told them, no, that's not true, because he did have a dad and he still has his dad. And he grew up with his dad, and his dad raised him and provided for him and took care of him. So, yeah, I don't know what the relationship was, like how he treated him, if he was a good dad emotionally or whatever the case may be. But he had a father that showed him, how to do things, and his father provided for him. So, yes, he did have a father in his life, and he still does. So, that's not an excuse, because, yeah, he he grew up with a father. He didn't,
He wasn't fatherless.
yeah,
And even if he wouldn't have grown up with a dad, like, it's like, why would you want that cycle to continue? Like, that's like if I grew up without a mom and then I had a daughter, like, I'm not just gonna, what are they called? Like, they're like at the fire station or something.
abandon all
Right.
the safety boxes.
Yeah, like, I'm not just gonna drop my daughter off at a safety box because, well, I didn't have a mom, so I don't know how to be a mom. Like, that's not an excuse. Like, you should learn from your parents' mistakes. Um, I'm not mad or anything, but like that's like my personal opinion. Um, and also if I do seem irritated or anything, it's just my head starting to hurt again. And I've been having headaches every day for a week now, so but I'm not mad, but like yeah, like that really is not an excuse. And that's really all I gotta say on that.
And what's one more thing that I want to say before we end this topic? Um, oh yeah. I don't wish him any bad. I don't have no hate towards him. I've grown, and I've forgiven him for not being there in my life. So don't think that I have any kind of hatred for him or towards him. That's the same thing, but still. Um, the only thing that I'll say is that I hope that something in his heart changes or his mind, and that he is able to be there for my 12-year-old brother that I don't know. Because, yes, I didn't have him, but at least my brother can have a dad if he changes. So I hope that he does change, and he still has that chance to like break the cycle and be a father, because my brother's only 12. So, hopefully good things come to my younger brother, and hopefully he'll be a father to him. Um, Also, I had it right there. Also, the last thing that I want to say about this is let us know if you have experienced not having a father or a mother and how that affected your life. If you know, experienced the same thing as us, just let us know. And then if you're watching us and you're a mother or a father and you're currently not in your child's life, let us know why and how that affects you, because I do know for a fact that if it affects the child because their parent's not in their life, the parent has to be affected in some kind of way too, whether it's guilt or something. So let us
or
know.
fear,
Yeah, let us know.
or I don't know. Like it definitely has to affect you unless you're just somebody that's just heartless and cold and like, well,
Which there are some people that are like that, but I know that there's some that they have to have some kind of guilt or like,
or like they're like afraid, or like if they even like went through what is it called? It's like when you have a baby, like the moms normally have
like
it. Yeah,
post traumatic.
forced postpartum
Yeah.
depression, and then like you like listen to your mind and you actually did give up your baby. Like let us know like how that affected you and if you got your baby back and everything, because we don't have kids, we've never been pregnant, so we're just speaking from a child's
Perspective.
perspective and stuff.
Also, if you are a parent that's not in your child's life because you're scared that they're not going to accept you, or you feel like any kind of regret or guilt, I promise you it'll be so much better if you just talk to your child and had a heart to heart conversation with them. At the end of the day, if they're upset and they tell you that they don't want you in their life right now, at least you tried to make some amends to be in their life. And hopefully one day they'll forgive you, because sometimes forgiveness takes time, and then they'll be like, okay, I remembered. They apologized to me. I'm ready now to have a relationship with them. That'll be so much better than you just going on with your life and never talking to them again because you're scared of what they'll think or how they'll feel towards you.
Or you fear that you're going to be a bad parent or a bad mom. Like it's better to be in your child's life and Sunshine said, like have that conversation with them and like tell them like, hey, like I this is my first time being a parent. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm afraid that I'm doing it wrong and that I'm not going to be a good mom or a good dad to you. Like it's better like because you got to think about it this way. Just as you're learning to be a parent, they're learning to be a child. And I know that sounds like, oh, well, how can you learn to be a child and everything? Like I don't know. It's scary because you have all these adults telling you, oh, you can't do this or you can't do that. So, like, you're learning just as they're learning to be a child, you're learning to be a parent. So, if you get it, you get it. If you don't, you
The
don't.
process takes time for both ends,
Yes.
and it's not going to be, there's no perfect child or perfect parent. Like, no matter how good the relationship is with your parents or whatever, there's always going to be some kind of disagreement or something. So it's like, don't be afraid and think that you're going to mess everything up, because everything's a learning experience and everything takes time. And at least if you know you're putting in the effort, that's all that they're going to care about. And that's what's going to matter the most is that you're trying instead of just being
Absent.
absent. So, yeah, that was our topic. Let us know if you're the child and experienced it or if you're the parent in the situation, and just tell us how you deal with it and how it affects you and how you've grown from it. Now,
On to our celebrity talks. Let's get into it. For this episode, we're going to be discussing. I'm excited for this one. I didn't find too much on him, but what I did find was kind of interesting. So let's get into it. And if you have more information that I didn't cover, let me know in the comments because I would really like to hear what I missed. So okay, this celebrity is DJ Khaled. And before I start, I want to say that this is all alleged.
allegedly.
It's alleged. Allegedly. Okay. The first one is DJ Khaled was hanging out with P. Diddy. Do you want to read the second one?
Yes, but do you know if they're still friends or was this like a while back?
Well, I don't know. What I found was like I saw some pictures of them together, but it was like I don't know if they were old pictures or I did see an old video of them. So I know that video was old, but like the pictures, I don't know if they're recent or not.
Okay, well, on to the next. DJ Khaled was at Diddy's freak off parties. If you know, you know.
Yes. Okay.
That's very interesting.
The next one, and this one was like, okay, that really happened. So, and this wasn't alleged because there's like actually a
But it's
picture.
still alleged.
It's alleged. It's alleged, not alleged. But there was a. If y'all want to go look and like find the picture for yourself, there was a picture. There was a picture of Diddy smoking a cigarette, and DJ Khaled was standing next to him with his shirt off. If you know, you know.
Also, before we continue on the topic, the things that we're going to be talking about may not be child friendly, so we'd advise that you not watch. Thank you.
Yes.
The next thing, um hold on, no. I know that, but you skipped one. You skipped the one where it says the man who shaded DJ Khaled. That was on here, but that's all it says. It doesn't say who the man was.
Well, I was trying to look more into it, but nothing was coming up. All I found was there was a TikTok where this guy was talking about how the man that shaded DJ Khaled is no longer here on Earth.
No way.
Um, I don't know who the man was. If y'all have that information, let us know down in the comments because I would really like to know. The only thing that they were like talking about was like DJ Khaled's beef with Tyler the Creator, but yeah, the only thing I found was the TikTok where the guy was talking about how the person that shaded him is no longer on Earth.
Interesting. Well, do I still read the next one that I was going to read,
Yeah,
or
you can.
okay? Allegedly, DJ Khaled is gay, says Jonathan Audie.
Yeah,
Audie or Audie or what?
Audie.
Audie.
That is
Alleged.
that's alleged, but Jonathan Audie is he said if y'all want to go find the TikTok video and watch it, he said that he is a adult actor and he was Diddy's pleasure slave. So if y'all want to go find the video and watch it for yourself, y'all can. But that was wild. The I did skip that one. Okay, the next one is I don't know if I should say alleged for this, but it says DJ Khaled is a Pakistani. A Pakistani? He's from Pakistan. So
Also, before we move on, I just looked up who DJ Khaled was, just in case any of you who are watching don't know who he is. It says DJ Khaled is an American DJ, record producer, and record executive, and he is originally a Miami based radio hype man. And it says Khaled has become known for his extensive curation. Also, he's worked with different artists such as Rihanna, Justin Bieber, Drake, and many more. But oh, he also worked with, I believe it was Quavo from the Migos. He did a song with them. And yeah, he's collabed with a good amount of artists that we know today. So yeah, that's who he is. He's a producer, DJ producer.
Sorry, I dropped my mic. Okay. Do you want to read the next one? Because I want to read the last one.
Okay, so the next one is DJ Khaled has not spoken up about what's going on in Pakistan. Which, what is going on in Pakistan?
There's like, it's kind of like the wars that are going on in Gaza.
Oh, okay, so he just hasn't like shown any support towards his own people,
Exactly,
basically.
yeah.
That's crazy.
And like, it's crazy because he's like,
He has such like
he has a big voice. Like people would listen if he spoke up about it and everything, but he hasn't. Like if we talked about it, yeah, people may listen, but not as much as if he did.
he has so many followers that if he were to post about it, it would spread so much awareness to people who don't know what's going on.
Exactly. And like he's kind of powerful in the industry, so I don't know. I
If he
feel
talked about it, maybe other celebrities would talk about it too.
yeah, and it's crazy because Justin Bieber like posted on one of his social medias like to pray for like what's going on over there, and Justin's Canadian, and for DJ Khaled not to speak on what's going on in his like his own home country, it's crazy to me. Like I'm not saying he has to, but I am saying in my opinion that he should speak up about it. That's like if something was going on here in Texas and I wasn't talking about it, that'd be crazy. Um, or even if something was going on in Africa, I'm not from Africa, but I am um black. So like I kind of feel like my ancestors tie back to Africa, so I would feel comfortable to talk about it. Um anyways, this last one
Allegedly.
well, kind of allegedly because he did say this in an interview. If y'all want to go find that interview where he said it, y'all can go find it. But this last one, it says DJ Khaled doesn't go down on women, and then I kind of added this little joke, but he sure did go down on Diddy
Allegedly.
allegedly. But he does say in an interview that he doesn't go down on the women though. Um,
Which that's really crazy.
it's crazy, but I've met a lot of guys that actually don't, or I've talked to like women that have talked to guys that said that they don't
Which everyone has a preference, but the only thing
please
that
women
gets
like
me,
that.
okay, so just before we end this topic, I understand that everyone has a preference on their sexual
Well,
desires
yeah,
and like things that they do, but the thing that gets me is if you're not gonna go down on a woman because that's your sexual preference, don't expect her to do the same for you.
exactly. Because a lot of guys are like, well, women are supposed to give guys head. Like,
No.
see, that's why I'm a lesbian because I would do it all. Anyways, no, I'm sorry. If any of my family finds this podcast and watch it, I was just joking.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. Oh, okay, that's funny. Okay, now I'm gonna pass it on over to Sunshine, and we're gonna go into our theory segment,
Oh, what
our
theories?
conspiracy theories
Oh, that was
segment.
gonna be the only one? Okay, yeah, sure. Well, then here,
Uh,
you gotta get the baby.
put her down.
Okay. Let me grab my mic.
Oof. Girl, get your. Natalie.
Okay, guys, I'm pulling up my
Her note.
yes, my notes.
Damn, I wish I had something to eat. I could eat right now.
You just
I
ate.
know, but I want something sweet, but I don't want to eat my Star Crunch yet. My mom did buy a cake, a strawberry one, but I don't want to make it though. She said we can make it like that one's to make for like whenever, but the German chocolate's for my brother
Well,
when he gets home.
if y'all want us to make a strawberry cake, let us know. Just kidding, because who knows when we're gonna post this one. So
Next Tuesday, which will be
oh my gosh, guys, it's almost October. I'm so
oh,
excited.
next Tuesday. Yeah, it will be October. Probably not October 1st, but it'll be.
Oh my goodness, I'm
Will
so
it be October
excited.
already?
Next Tuesday, it'll be let me see. Yeah, next Tuesday is October 1st. Oh my
Is it for real?
gosh.
I'm dead. We gotta do a Halloween one.
Yes, we're gonna start, guys. We need to, like, for real, start.
If y'all have any like Halloween recommendations, we're working on getting food stamps. We're so close. We're so close to
We
getting our
are.
food stamps. Once we do, we can do like some Halloween like food videos and everything. But until then, we'll let y'all know when that does hit and everything, so we can start doing those. But until then, if y'all have any like conspiracy theories that y'all want us to cover that are Halloween, or like any like Halloween topics y'all want us to talk about, like any Halloween themed thing, if y'all want us to go over, we will. Just let us know down in the comments below.
Okay, guys, I'm almost ready.
But until then, I am interested in what our supporters' ages are. I no Diddy. Um, I just want to know like the age group that watches us and everything, and what do y'all like about us? I'm interested. Like I'm always interested to know what somebody else likes about us. Because me, like the thing I dislike most about myself is probably my voice. Um, the
I don't
thing
like my voice either.
the thing that I love about myself is definitely my hair. I can't wait to get it braided, honestly. I want to get my hair braided so badly. But like what's y'all's favorite thing about us, and also what's y'all's favorite thing about yourselves? Let us know down in the comment. And also what do y'all dislike about yourselves? Let us know that in the comment too.
Oh my goodness. That was loud.
Bless you.
Ah.
That's funny. Bless you.
Okay, guys, so I had a few theories from Reddit, and I found one, but I don't know if it's safe to talk about. Um, oh my. Okay, so the first one that I'm gonna get into, this is alleged, and it's from Reddit, so it's not me who looked this up, and I'm not the one who made this information. So there's a ride at Disneyland, no, Disney World. So in Orlando, there's a ride at Disney World Orlando, and it's called Small World. I'm not sure if it's still there or if it's not, because they posted this 5 years ago on Reddit. But apparently, the Small World ride has pedo symbolism, and they did share a picture. I don't know if we could show you guys, but that's like what's on the
Sorry,
Small World ride.
that's crazy.
That was just, if y'all want to look that up on its own, allegedly. Um, I found that. And then, let me see. There's this other Reddit user that posted this, and they said, my wife and I recently watched the movie, which was the Peter Pan movie.
Mm.
And he said, we ended up discussing the following topics instead of really watching it. so sorry if it's a lot of notes. He said to begin with, we have to look at the source material, which is both the play and novel written by J. M. Barrie. Disney used the original material as the basis for his 1953 film. There is also an unused amount of Peter Pan lore in the Disney movie, which is arguably the first source material. The Little White Bird and The Little White Bird chapters 13 and 18, lovingly referred to as Peter Pan in Kensington Gardens, shows an infant Peter only 7 days old and is able to fly, escaping out of his home's window. In the Kensington Gardens, he plays with fairies, crows, and other little children. It should be noted that since Peter has innate magical abilities and can walk while being only a few days old, he could be considered a spirit or a fey creature like a fairy. Moving forward into the novel slash play, we find the two stories have some key differences. Instead, we shall focus on what is the same. Mary Darling, Wendy's mother, is telling the children stories of Peter Pan. Peter loves to listen to them, so often sneaks by the open window to listen. One night he is caught and while escaping, lost his shadow. He comes back later to claim it, and Wendy helps him reattach his shadow. After talking a bit, all four children make their way to Neverland. Adventures ensure Peter almost dies to Hook, and Tink gets poisoned. Okay, the Darlings get kidnapped by Hook. Then Peter defeats Hook, easily kicking him off the ship, right into the Croc's mouth. It is at this point when Peter takes the children back to the Darling home. He attempts to stop them from going home, but upon seeing Wendy's mother in despair, he shows them in, thrilling their mother. Mary Darling then adopts all of the lost boys and offers to adopt Peter as well, but he refuses, saying he does not want to grow up. In addition, like in Robin Williams' Hook, Peter returned to see Wendy every spring. However, the play ends with Wendy returning to Neverland to find Peter, but Peter has forgotten about Tinkerbell, who died. The Lost Boys. Hook everything. The narrator ends with the line, it has something to do with the riddle of his being. If he could get the hand of the thing, his memory, his crime might become to live would be an awfully big adventure. Sounds familiar, right? That's pretty much Disney's version. However, there are some other strange things afoot. Disney is no stranger to introducing dark underlying tones or sexual themes in their stories. Now that we have gone over our source material, let's dive into the movie. Are you good?
I'm sorry, yeah.
Okay. So it says, let's assume Peter's origins are the same. He left his mother, went to the gardens, found the fairies and the crows. Okay, you get it. So what's next? Peter has all the innate magical powder, not powder, magical power. He is described as betwixt and between, which is pretty much the description of a fey creature. It is shown in the film that Peter can fight, dance, run, and stay active for extended periods of time without feeling tired, and is also shown to possess great strength. Okay, catching Wendy as she hurtled to the ground. Oh, dragging Tiger Lily out of the water with no effort and catching Wendy as she hurtled to the ground, etc. The ability to change his voice to any other, both Captain Hook and the Big Chief, and fly without the aid of Tinkerbell. He tells the children in the nursery, oh sure, I know how to fly, I just never thought about it before. Here is where our theory truly begins. So he is supernatural and not willing to return to his mother now that she has forgotten him. Where does he go now? Well, off to Fey Wilds, of course. Here we are now in Neverland, and it's lush with lots of animals, trees, food, abundant mermaids in the lagoon, and a paradise. But the only creatures here are the fairies and Peter. However, due to the context clues left in the film, we can assume that Neverland is out of phase with reality and is almost like a blissful purgatory, which purgatory is where you go after you die to wait. And if you don't know, just look up what purgatory is. an isolated island out in the middle of an endless ocean, a paradise or a prison. It's also a place of madness that makes you forget who you were in reality and everything else that does not exist in Neverland. Like a dream you cannot recall in the morning, time still flows normal inside, but Peter is special and can never grow up because he is a magical creature. This is long, guys. I'm sorry. The next, on to the next paragraph.
Okay.
Peter befriends the fairies and is in good standing with them since this is his origin and lives with them on the island. But he is nothing more than a small boy. Every time he leaves Neverland, he grows a little. He's lonely on the island without real playmates. The fairies only feel one emotion at Peter's time due to their size, so they cannot enjoy Peter's games he wants to play. During one of his fights, he finds some Native Americans. He befriends them, drinking, smoking, dancing, and singing the night away. He brings the whole tribe to Neverland because of just how much fun he had that night, and they are great fun indeed. But they are a tribe, and he is an outsider, a pale-faced boy. He can never truly be a part of their group.
That's sad.
Peter goes out again in search of more playmates. This time he finds two lost boys, James and George. They do not have a mother and do not remember their last names. Peter takes pity on them and takes them back to Neverland. James and George cannot fly, but with the help of some fairy dust, they are offline like Pan himself. At last, playmates. They played all kinds of games and lived on the island happily. Their favorite game was pirates. They even built a grand ship using the enchanted wood from the forest, but they needed more members. It is difficult to sail a ship with only 3 small boys. The next paragraph. So out Peter goes to find more lost boys, more playmates, more. Finally, they had a whole flock of them, enough to rival the Indians. Thus, they start their games. Day after day, they built forts, swam in the channel, chased mermaids, and did as they pleased. But pirates was their favorite game. I'm sure you see where this is going. The boys grew up. James is the coolest kid in Neverland. He commands his red pirates like an elite general. Green pirates, led by Peter, can never overtake the ship. All of the lost boys looked up to James. He even had a mustache. He was so cool. This made Peter Pan insanely jealous. He was the special boy who had superpowers. His jealousy took away cutting off James' left hand and tossing it to the crocodile.
This is dark.
He knew full well that the crocodile was James' biggest fear, and this made Pan squeal with excitement. He had never drawn blood before. Pan continued to kill the older lost boys, culling the herd so that he would always be top dog in Neverland. Sounds like and I know James felt.
Damn.
Who's Peter?
Damn.
Move, mama.
Natalie, come here.
Your butthole's in my face. Kitty down. Anyways, James felt betrayed, hurt, and furious at Pan. The older boys, who saw what Pan was doing, rallied together with James and formed a real pirate crew. Their mission was to kill Pan and then sail out into clearer waters to be real pirates. Denouncing Pan and becoming captain of the ship they built together to play pirate. James became Captain James Hook, enemy of the great Peter Pan. James would then return his little brother George to Earth's reality to protect him from Pan. George got adopted by Mr. and Mrs. Darling and grew up having a family of his own. Wendy, the oldest, would become in tune with Neverland, who has vivid dreams and visions of Peter Pan and his adventures fighting Captain Hook. We will call her a visionary of sorts because it is implied all the Peter Pan stories come from Wendy's imagination. George would not remember any details of Neverland due to his magical forgetfulness. George would not recognize Hook as his brother's name either due to this. In the film, Disney also chose to make George Darling and Captain Hook have the same voice actor, hair color, and general facial shapes. They both also prefer mustaches with no beards and to be dressed up nice and tidy. When we first see Pan in the films, he has a very knowing, very sinister look on his face. He knows exactly what he's doing. It is likely he lost his shadow to Nana on purpose, just so he could kidnap Wendy. Wendy would, of course, look at Pan as the good guy fighting the evil pirates, but in reality, everything is a game to Pan: life, death, pain, destruction, fighting, dancing. He is a perfect creature of chaos and cares for no one but himself. Pan is visibly upset when Wendy wants to take her brothers, which suggests he wanted to play with a girl and a girl only. It is unknown whether or not he would kill her if she got older than him, since she would not be a boy. Peter is a excuse my language, this is the person who wrote this. Okay? Peter Peter is a dick to the Lost Boys, commanding them as if he was dictator. They follow his orders as if loyal soldiers, which is uncharacteristic for small boys to listen to anyone and obey any commands. Pan has either groomed them from toddlers to be so, or he has threatened them in ways that they would never disobey him, possibly even seen him make an example out of a lost boy who did cross him. The Indians live in relative peace with Pan and the boys until the chief's daughter is stolen. They know Pan well enough to know his games are annoying and perilous, and even when Pan happened to see Hook with Tiger Lily, he was far less concerned with saving her and more focused on playing with Hook and Smee, toying with them for his own amusement. Wendy was the one who brought his attention back to Tiger Lily saving her life. Pan would have let her drown and the boys be burned to death. The chief's daughter advances during the Indian dance scene. The chief's daughter's advances during the Indian dance scene make him blush, indicating he is old enough to have hormones and physical desires. This furthers the suspicious connotations of his kidnapping of Wendy for her stories only. This hurts Wendy's feelings, who thought Peter would like her the most. When they return, Wendy gets gentle kindness and wish to go home, makes the boys agitated until she starts reminding them of their mother. The boys have already started to forget, but a woman forgets nothing. Wendy sings to them and suddenly becomes more popular than Pan, but not in a she's so cool way, but in a she cares and I like that way, which confuses Peter, who is used to testosterone. When all the boys want to leave, this confuses and hurts Pan further, to which he tells them if they grow up, they can never come back. Hook would have absolutely killed Peter, bomb or poison, if he had but been a little more cautious about Tinkerbell's escape. His hubris got the better of him due to his elation of finally getting revenge on Pan. The Lost Boys growing up to become pirates is further driven home by the song and dance leading up to come and sign the book, join up with Captain Hook. The boys instantly choose this rather than to walk the plank. It is likely all of the current pirates in Hook's crew are older boys that Pan either forgot to dispose of or saw Pan's atrocities and sought refuge with Hook. Better to die fighting against your abductor and your potential killer than to side against Hook, the man who was wronged and betrayed. Pan survives the bomb or poison in the original due to the loyalty of Tinkerbell. And though he learned very little, he does finally relent that he is not always the golden boy in the room and understands a little more about love. He then rushes to the aid of the boys and the darlings, and Pan takes on Hook. During his fight with Hook, no matter what, Pan just is toying with the poor man. Hook almost wins on several occasions, but then Pan uses tricks or flyaways to avoid getting killed. Even then, this is all just a game to Pan. After his victory, a non-murder of Hook, Peter returns the darlings to their home in the flying ship, which he knows how to sail due to knowing it after just okay, they had a miscorrection, I guess. Let me see. He knows how to sail the ship because he built it with James and George, and then he heads back to Neverland after dropping the darlings off. Mr. Darling hears Wendy's newest crazy story when they get home from his office party. He then looks out to see a flying ship, suddenly having a rush of good emotions, saying, I think I've seen that ship before, a long time ago when I was very young. If I were in fact the villain, Hook's ship, I hate when people mistype because then I don't know what they're trying to say. But Mr. Darling would not say this with such happiness. The further points that James, George, and Peter all built that ship together and sailed the lagoon and played pirate a long time ago when they were very young. If you also include Robin Williams' Hook into this theory, the fairy dust of the ship continues to be able to fly, which is why and how Hook finds the Darling's old house and captures Pan's kids, threatening him using them as hostages. Peter, of course, remembers nothing due to his absence from Neverland for so long. He only remembers what happened in the real world. He cannot fly, crow, imagine, or fight because when he returned to find Wendy's grandfather, he fell in love again. Oh, granddaughter, not grandfather. He fell in love again to the detriment of Tink, who has never forgotten their eternal friendship. In this movie, with our theory, Pan returns to his chaotic, irresponsible self for a time, having fun instead of fighting for his children. But he does come to grips with his memory at last and completes his whole self, saving his children and defeating the hatred absorbed Captain Hook by inadvertently feeding him to the crocodile. That was crazy and that was long. I did not know that it was that long. I just saw that it was a Peter Pan theory. So that's why I thought it would be nice to read it. But I could see how it is kind of confusing if you've never saw the movies.
I've never seen it.
Or read the books.
Never.
So I'm so sorry for that. I should have read more on it. I thought it was going to be way shorter and way simpler, but he went into like so much detail about the movies and both of the versions and then the Hook movie and all of that. But anyways,
so basically Peter Pan is the bad guy.
He's not as innocent as he
appears
seems
to be.
Yeah. There's a more sinister plot, or so they say.
They say he cut his arm off and gave him to the crocodiles.
Because he knew he was scared of the crocs.
And that gave him joy.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Also, that's crazy to think that Hook was never the bad guy and that he used to be one of Peter Pan's really good friends until Peter got jealous and then
that's why he has a hook.
That's crazy.
It is.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I'm gonna have to go back and rewatch those.
Right, because I've never seen them at all.
It sounds so interesting.
It does.
But yeah, if y'all watch those and y'all know what I was talking about, let me know if y'all think that theory is interesting or not. And if you have not seen them, let me know if y'all are going to watch them or not and how y'all like them. But yeah, that I was gonna try to do like at least two conspiracy theories or 3, but that was really long. So do you have anything else?
No, that was crazy. I've never seen those movies. And
so we're gonna end it here.
The quote of the day. Okay, I like that one. The quote of the day is, if you knew the extent of what a person had to endure to have the outlook they have today, you wouldn't be intimidated. You would be empowered. Richard Oliver.
That's really good.
That was his.
That's the quote of the day.
Yeah, either his or her quote. I don't know if that's a man or a woman. I'm not trying to offend anybody, but yeah, I really do like that quote.
That's beautiful and true.
It is.
But guys, I think we're done for today. If you enjoyed this video or thought that anything we discussed was interesting, let us know.
And if you have more information on anything that we discussed, let us know in the comments below. Also, don't forget to follow our Instagram at Shooting Star Podcast and our TikTok at Shooting Star Podcast. We would be grateful if you did. If you don't, we understand. And with much love, with much peace and unconditional love, we'll see you guys in the next video.
Until then, spread positivity and love. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Long ago, the four nations lived together in harmony. Then, everything changed when the Fire Nation attacked.